Welcome back to the Gadget Spot.
Woo! Hey, everybody.
We're in Jarron's house without Jarron.
Yeah.
But we got the Kirkland brand version of Jarron with us.
I'm the Kirkland brand version of Jarron.
Yes.
Yeah. Severely underrated, but still pretty cool.
I was going to say, there's some
High
items
quality.
the Kirkland's better than the brand name.
I see Kirkland as a better value, and it's made in the same factory.
Same factory. A little nicer
Yeah.
than
I
Jarron.
found that out about my dog food. We pay $50 a bag for dog food, and we found out the same factory makes the Kirkland one
Ooh, you
for
ready?
half the price.
You ready for me to drop a pro tip on our audience that
Do
I'm
it.
actually semi-knowledgeable about now?
I don't believe it.
If you are having a baby and
news.
you are going to do formula, or if you had a baby and you're going to do formula, or you just want baby formula,
That's me.
There
it is.
It is worth getting a Costco membership for.
Just
Yep.
for the formula.
Wait, what? Are you having a baby?
No.
Oh.
I just want formula.
He just wants it.
Oh, yes.
That last one was the one that got us.
But just a heads up, like normal Similac, I think it's called, is like $30. But at Costco, they got the Kirkland brand, which is just as good, for $13.
Wow.
That is significantly less dollars.
Yeah.
So,
All
pro
right.
tip.
Let's introduce ourselves. This is the Gadget Spot, where we talk about baby formula, tech, gadgets, and video games. And sitting over here in front of me, we have Owen.
Hey, everybody. My name's Owen. You can follow me on Twitter at TechNoan. Yep, that's about it for me. I would have played games on the flight, but my phone died. So I was going to get into that Tetris game that James said last time that he's
Oh,
addicted
the
to.
Tetris like 100 game?
Yeah, is that that's on the
99.
That's on Switch.
Oh, well. Dang
Tetris
it.
99. Yeah, I think they released
phone.
Did they port it to Android?
no, they released a version that you don't need to subscribe to,
Oh,
and like
neat.
an offline version, but you have to buy it.
I thought it was a mobile game. I was
Wait.
gonna. Good thing my phone died anyway, so I didn't get the chance to
Did
do
I
it.
subscribe to something? Did I subscribe to that?
No, you got Tetris 99 for free when you do the Nintendo year of like online play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of Nintendo Online.
Oh.
Anyway, that's it for me. I don't really have a bunch of games that I got to play. I've been out of town with work, so it was kind of boring.
All right, sitting in for Jarron, we have Tyler, his brother.
Hi, I'm Ty, Jarron's brother. Jarron is out of town, out of country, so I'm filling in. Happy to be here. Follow me on Twitter at Ty Merrill if you'd like. For games I've been playing,
Yeah, let's hear that.
tons.
Ah,
What do you want to hear about? I got
let's see. Your
Let's start with-
the last couple weeks. Your top three.
I want to hear physical to emotional.
okay. Well,
Or that.
the past month,
Okay.
I've been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey because it's a gigantic game and it's been taking me. I've been playing it for like 70 hours and
Wow.
I'm like 3/4 of the way done.
I kind of want to play it. I have it, but I haven't put any time into it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Is it?
Yeah.
I do love Greek mythology and everything like
Yeah,
that too.
I
How
think
does
you're going to
it-
like it. If you have the time, I mean, it's a huge game.
Okay.
Massive.
How does it stack up to God of War, the original ones?
I didn't play the original God of War games. I just played the new one.
Well, nothing stacks up to the new one besides maybe Witcher
But
3.
it's completely different. This is kind of like an RPG. It's like an action RPG. So, you got your dialogue options, your
What other
upgradable-
Assassin's Creeds have you played?
I played Origins.
Did you ever play Black Flag?
No.
Oh, never mind.
I want to, though, because
That's the pirate one.
yeah, it's a pirate one. Odyssey has you have a ship and you have a crew and there's naval battles.
Oh, nice.
So it makes me kind of want to go back and try Black Flag after I finish Odyssey. But yeah, I mean, I recommend playing Odyssey. It's pretty cheap now. You can get it for like $20.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've been playing, or I played Just Cause 4.
How's that one? The weather system in that is supposed to be kind of neat.
Yeah, there's a weather system. There's like tornadoes and blizzards and dust storms. I liked it a lot better than Just Cause 3, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it did not score as well as Just Cause 3.
And I don't understand why.
Huh.
Because I'm a huge Just Cause fan.
Yeah.
And Just Cause 4, it takes everything that Just Cause 3 does and basically improves upon it. Of course, it uses their new graphics engine,
Yeah.
the Apex
Yep.
engine. So Just Cause 3 had horrible performance.
Yes.
Decent graphics, but horrible performance. Just Cause 4, really good graphics, good performance. Everything just works a lot better.
How's the story?
Don't worry about the story.
I don't think people play Just
Yeah.
Cause for the story.
I've only seen like the things that you can do in Just Cause that you would say, why did you do that? And you would say, just cause.
like putting little rockets on cows and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. On butts of people.
Yeah.
And then on cars.
Yeah, the thing about 4 is there's way more customization with like your grapples and your booster rockets, and there's like Fulton balloons, so you can just kind of go crazy. It's so fun.
Huh. I don't want to put my time into that one now, but maybe I want to.
I feel like I was born in the wrong generation. I want to be like 15 right now. I don't want any responsibility.
Totally.
I want
when you
all
have-
these high quality games.
Agreed.
Games are so good now.
Except I wouldn't want to be 15 right now with the way social media and mobile devices
I'd be on a list.
infect your life. All right,
Yeah,
continue.
I would be a very bad student, probably.
Me too.
So yeah, Just Cause 4 is on Game Pass. I recommend checking it out. Also, I checked out Crackdown 3. Also on Game Pass.
I think I'm going to play that one.
I think I really enjoyed it, actually. It plays a little bit like a last-gen game,
Uh-huh.
like an Xbox 360 game. The graphics aren't like super detailed.
It's
and
got Terry Crews in it.
Yeah.
It does have Terry Crews, but it's just a fun time. It's pretty short. It's like 10 hours.
Oh, great. I
So-
can play that.
It's only got 60% on Metacritic, though.
Nah, don't worry about that. Just
All
hop
right.
in, give it a try. It's a blast.
It's only $59 on Xbox One right now.
I'll bet
Well,
you-
it's on Game Pass. Just like subscribe to Game Pass.
I think they're still doing like $2 for 3 months right now or something like that.
Yeah, they're probably going to do some new deals for E3 as well.
I'm sure, yeah.
So, yeah, just been playing those things.
Nice. You're all about the open world games right now.
I like an open world game, and I wasn't planning on playing Just Cause 4 when I did. Just it got dropped onto Game Pass, so I was
Right.
like, well, I'll try it out. And yeah,
And here we are.
I'm excited to finish Assassin's Creed Odyssey though, because I want to try out Outer Wilds. Have you heard about that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like the new hot game right now, Outer
Yeah.
Wilds.
And that's also on Xbox
Yeah,
Pass.
also on Game Pass. So
Yeah, I definitely will probably, will probably try that one out.
Ooh, Outer Wilds look like it has like a similar art theme to Sea of Thieves. Interesting. I only could see it from the thumbnails. Don't judge me.
It's just a drawing.
Oh, look at that. No, look at that. Looks kind of like it, right? Okay,
I
anywho.
guess maybe a little
My
bit.
name's, are you done?
I'm done.
Okay, what's up, Ty? I didn't know that Tyler was your name. I thought Ty was your name. Well, Ty is your name, but that's like
Yeah.
me saying my name is Jim.
Jim.
No, your name is James.
Oh, yeah. My name's James. You can catch me on Twitter at JDD Jensen. Yep. That's about it. I've been kind of boring lately, but
No
as
games?
far as games, I found out that Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, or as it's called, Tycoon Classic,
Uh-huh.
dropped on the iPad.
You've been playing
And I
that?
hit that hard.
Yeah?
Yeah, I needed some kind of like remission for RimWorld. I needed something to get into that was like a building game, but not like so like free with mods.
So you're basically using it as like a step down process
Yeah.
to get away from
Dude, do you want to
RimWorld?
see my park? I'll pull it up right now. I
No,
don't
I
care. It's on
don't.
my iPad.
Did
Look
you,
at that.
did you build
That
some
was
sick
fast.
coasters?
Well, yeah, but this is probably I played 2 baker's dozens worth of parks in the last like 2 weeks.
How many is that?
26?
Yes, it is 26.
Yep, it's less than a fortnight. I'll tell you that.
I think a fortnight's 20.
Nope. No, a fortnight is 2 weeks, isn't it?
So that'd be 14.
Oh, I know stuff. Outside of that, I haven't really been doing much. Just kind of trying to keep a baby alive, which is I now understand the Grand Canyon more. They wear you down a little bit at a time. You got kids,
I
Ty?
feel like you're becoming.
No, I do not.
Oh,
I
and
feel
you
like
got
you're
kids?
becoming the.
I do have kids.
Yeah, you got a lot of kids.
I got 4 kids.
Owen is the Grand Canyon at this point.
Yeah.
I'm
There's nothing left.
It's all gone.
I
It's
ain't-
been eroded.
Big hole.
It's a spectacle to see. I'm a spectacle.
I want you on a T-shirt, Owen.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Put a glass bridge above me and just look down on me like everybody else
Look at
seems
that.
to.
Yeah. It's all good. But you know what else is good? Is our host. His name is Tony.
I'm good. Check me out on Twitter at QuadTTony. Every week on the Geek Show or every other week here on the Gadget Spot. And I have been playing. I stopped playing Rage after the last episode because I wanted to patch it.
Rage or Rage 2?
Rage 2, sorry.
Oh.
And they did. I saw a patch come in yesterday. Didn't fix it. So I'm still not playing
Wait,
Rage 2.
what's the problem?
On PC, it is janky.
Oh, just like bad performance?
When you get in the car, it is jank city, like to the point where you're supposed to. I think like the third mission you do in the game is you have to run a race, and they have a racetrack that you can do, and there are other car chases and stuff. And it was hard to win the race because of how janky the performance is while you're in the car.
Wow.
It's bad. So I was hoping the update that I saw drop yesterday would fix it, but if it did anything, it maybe 20% better, but still way far away from good.
Well, that's no good.
Yeah, but now when you're out on your feet, it runs fine. It's only when you're in the car.
Yeah.
And I've heard that consoles don't have that problem. So if you want to play it on PS4 or Xbox, I say go for it because it is a really fun game.
Yeah, man, I was way excited for that
It's fun. Like,
last year when they announced it.
I would say get it on sale. It's a $40 game.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a $60 game, but it's a $40 game or less.
Okay. I'll play it. Maybe I'll finish Assassin's Creed Odyssey by the time it drops in price. And
There you go. Yeah, you can go into. It's also open world, not quite as open as Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but the shooting mechanics, like I said in my review last episode, are very much like Doom with powers. So it's fun. It's a fun game.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. So yeah, I played a little bit of that, but I basically dumped that because I was sick of it. The performance in the car. I've been playing, of course, some Destiny 2. Got to play a little bit of that, and then I picked up Arkham Knight because I had never played that.
You've never played Arkham Knight?
No, because the PC performance was so bad.
Oh yeah, man, I played that so long ago. On
Well, that's the
PS4.
thing. Yeah, it came out, and I had dual 970s at the time, and I've gone through the 970s, 1080 Ti's, and now I'm on a 2080 Ti, and it finally has gotten to the point where it's pretty good performance on my PC.
This wasn't your first Batman Arkham game.
Oh no, I played the first two, Arkham Asylum and Arkham City.
I appreciate you saying that, only like acknowledging that there was 2 games before this one.
This one's so much better than those, though. Holy cow!
No, because the funny thing is there's like 3 games.
No, Blackgate doesn't count.
No, good. Wait, what? No, I'm talking about Arkham Origins.
Oh, Origins. Blackgate was another one.
Yeah, that was like the
That was
Vita.
yeah, the handheld one.
Oh.
Yeah, Origins doesn't count.
No,
either.
that doesn't count.
Yeah, it's not as good.
But I appreciate that.
But let me tell you, Arkham Knight is. I'm late to the party on this. It is good.
Yeah,
Dude.
I love
It's
it.
so good.
Yeah.
So it has all the great gameplay from Arkham Knight and Arkham Asylum, but more of it,
Arkham City.
or Arkham City and Arkham Asylum.
Asylum, yeah.
But there's more of it, and there's it's been refined.
Yeah.
And you have the car stuff, and the car stuff is pretty cool in the Batmobile.
Yeah, there's a part. Have you gotten to the tank stuff yet?
Oh yeah, I just defeated the Arkham Knight.
Okay,
I'm
so
almost
you're-
done.
You're
I
almost
think.
done.
Yeah.
I thought the tank stuff got a little.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
got a
mean,
little too much of it. It's like just kept going. And,
yeah, especially when you have to defend against like 45 different tanks in a row, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I've been doing this for 10 minutes, and then if you die, you have to start all the way over.
Yeah, and spoilers for Arkham Knight. Did you see that?
Wait, are you going to spoil the end of the
Don't
game for me, and
spoil
I'm
it.
10
No,
minutes
no,
away
like
from finishing
you
it?
said you defeated the Arkham Knight.
Yeah, so I know who it is.
Yeah, did you see that coming?
Yeah, I did. I knew.
Yeah.
I was sure that it was going to be. I mean, the game came out 3 years ago. It's Jason Todd. I don't care about spoilers after 3 years.
Yeah.
Except for me when I'm right near the very end of the game. But like, anyway, I think they did that in the comics too.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So really cool though. But
that-
since I'd heard about it from the comics, I knew.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm sure they're doing the same story arc.
That art style though, they nailed it.
Oh, man.
They need to take that and then make movies from that art style. It is so perfect.
It is such a shame that that game performed so poorly on PC when it first came out, because it is a 9 out of 10 game, easy.
Oh, yeah.
Easy 9 out of 10. And if it had been a good performer on the PC and hadn't caught all the flack that it had, you'd see it up there in people's top 10 lists, I think, of all time, because it is the voice acting, phenomenal. The story, this is the first one of the 3 that has a really good story, if you ask me.
Really?
Yeah, the story in Arkham Asylum I thought was
What?
I liked Arkham Asylum.
It was,
I loved it.
I mean, you do have a little bit of like Ocarina of Time Ganon at the end of Arkham Asylum. Like I'll give you that. But like
No,
the story was fantastic.
It wasn't Arkham Asylum. You just needed to round up all the bad guys in Arkham Asylum, and the Joker was kind of the main bad
there was
guy.
way more of
Was
a.
there
I
more
don't
to-
remember.
Yeah,
I
see,
don't remember
I'm
either.
just
That's
being
what
an
I'm saying.
apologist for
so
this
long
game.
ago.
That's what I mean. Like it wasn't impactful enough for me to remember what it was. And then Arkham Knight.
But we need to put that into context. How many games have you played? And it's like you put one in, you take one out. You can't store all the video games.
touche. You're right about that, but still,
I mean,
And
you
then,
can. If you're,
if you're like a robot,
yeah, well,
I just learned to.
or if you only play 7 games.
Oh, there you go.
The Halo series.
yeah, that's all.
Owen.
Yeah,
Arkham City was about Joker and the Titan formula, right?
Yeah, well, there was a lot of Penguin in that one, and there was
Yeah, there was a fair amount
Holy
of
moly!
Penguin.
Yeah, I was going to
Ra's
say.
al Ghul was in that one.
Not that it matters.
See, that's the thing is I don't remember anything about Ra's al Ghul or Talia al Ghul, and the Joker hallucinations in Arkham Knight bring up Talia al Ghul all the time, and I'm just like, I guess Batman was in love with her. I don't remember.
Are you serious? Damian Wayne, man, come on.
Well, yeah, that was in the comics, but not.
It's going to happen.
They're done making Arkham games.
Yeah, they are.
Said.
I just barely looked on Metacritic. Not that it matters, but Batman Arkham City got a 96.
Yeah.
But Arkham Knight got a 70. Really?
It's because the PC numbers brought it down because it ran so poorly at first.
Whatever.
But
I see your reality and I choose to reject it.
yeah, I would say Arkham Knight is my favorite of the three. I'd say at this point. Anyway, so that's what I've been doing most of my gaming on is Arkham Knight because I think I've almost beat it since, and I just started it after last episode, so I've been playing that a lot.
Dabbling in the Batman territory. I love the casting for the new Batman, by the way.
I think it's
Oh, yeah?
fine.
And
Robert Pattinson.
yeah,
Yep.
yes, you
Yeah.
said it right. A lot of people have been saying Patman, but I
I don't like that.
yeah.
Pattinson better. Is
But that
better.
being said, like a little bit of an offshoot of that, the casting and the characters for the new Suicide Squad movie. I can't wait.
it's gonna be
James
good.
Gunn made me care about a talking tree.
That's right. He's gonna make you care about villains now in the DC universe. Okay, so let's see. Is there? Let's see. We got Patreon. Did anyone pull up Patreon? That's usually
I'll do that
Jarron.
right now. I'll
I
get
don't
on
know how
Patreon.
to, otherwise I would.
Good point.
Way
Kirkland,
to
Jarron.
go,
Good
Kirkland.
try.
That's the difference. There's the difference right there.
Dude,
didn't-
I
we didn't give-
apologize if you don't like that. and I
Well,
got
I'm a
that
little
started.
cheaper and
We didn't give Kirkland, Jarron
delicious.
the forewarning or the login credentials. I think to do that. So,
No.
I don't remember the password. So, guys, stall. Talk about what it
oh
is.
my goodness. Oh wait, Owen. I
Hey,
guess.
that's
What's
me.
What's Patreon?
Patreon's a place where you can help support the show. If you want to give a few bucks, you can do that. Or if not, we still love you anyway. You can get all the content and stuff that we do here. Listen just for free. But it's a place where you can donate $1 to $6 or something like that. If you donate
Yep.
$6 or more, you get your name read out here on the podcast.
That's right. You get
James-
a shout out.
James, is gonna-
What do we do with the Thrifty 50, which is also what we do with the thing?
Thrifty 50 is where we use some of that money from the that you guys donate and try out some cool cheap gadgets.
What was something that you did with it?
Why don't you just get the credentials logged in and log in instead of making me?
verify my browser.
I bet I can get on, and I'm just barely starting before he gets on.
Well,
Well-
it's probably because you have your browser verified.
Sometimes we'll do some extra videos and throw them up there on for Patreon subscribers, some silly stuff
logged
or
Owen, I have
Explosion.
it. Hold up. Let me read the list.
video. Oh, there you go. Okay. Hey,
Jeez.
This is some good podcasting.
Woo!
Actually, keep stalling. I
Nope,
I
I'm
don't
done
know what
sta- you
tab
just
to
cut it-
click
you
on
turned
now.
it off.
Benefits? Do I click on benefits? No, relationship to manager? Nope.
Click on
that's not it.
patrons, you dingus.
Yeah, I'm on Patreon. Oh, right there, I found it. Okay, cool. I got it.
Cool.
Cool. Sweet. Cool. All right. Did we already say why we talk about their names?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Very, very special thank you to Aaron. Nope. Okay. The other Aaron. Aaron Faulkner. Thank you. Aaron Young. Adam Foote. Adam Hecht. I love how you're reading over my
You
shoulder
are
to
just
make sure I
not
don't
good at
check it.
this.
No, this is why we have Jarron do it. AJ. Okay.
Didn't
you
he
know
use-
what?
didn't you
Here.
used to do it,
Here,
James?
I'm right. It's right here. We're at AJ.
No,
Jasper.
just finish it.
Oh,
You've already started.
Okay, fine. It's
Finish
gonna
your
hand it off.
vegetables.
All hail Brand the
Brand the Broken.
Broken. I had to click on it. Austin Beauregard.
Hey, there you go.
Brian Lee. Conrad Southworth.
Southworth.
David Broshinsky.
Broshinsky.
David Osuna. Ghostbuster.
no.
Grinding the levels. Grinding the levels for last trophy.
There's even some people on this list that don't donate anymore, which is fine. But like,
Hardware.
you are so bad. At
I can make
reading
Jarron say anything for $6. James Jensen, Jeffrey Kale. Dude, I'm a patron to our thing. I didn't know that.
See, it says declined right next to it. You
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Like 3 years ago. I
Josh.
told you to.
Sidaway, Justin. Nope. Michael Beck.
Oh my goodness.
Roger Allen. We have a lot of patrons, man. Do you see this? Ryan Baker, Ryan McQueen, Spencer Knowlton. That's the end of the list. I ended on an uptick. I apologize.
Thanks, James. Hey, special thanks guys
right.
for helping the show and
See, look, if you
and
click,
listening to us.
if you click manager, and then you can click on the most recent
You told
one.
me to click on patrons.
It is patrons, manager,
Oh.
and here's the list.
James doesn't deserve this. It's his first time.
I don't want to do this. This is why I don't read lists.
Okay. Let's see. So yeah, if your name didn't get called out this time, we apologize.
Holy moly, we have a lot of patrons. Thank you. We need to line them all up and give them a high five.
Yeah.
Okay.
Virtual high fives. Do we have any emails?
We have 240 of them in our Gmail.
I think we have 0 emails.
Yeah, we didn't get any this time.
Hold on, I got one right here from Cody Taylor. Did you read this one last time? Will Apple just kill iTunes already?
Yeah, it's an article about.
And guess what they did?
People wanting to kill iTunes. They didn't kill iTunes.
What? Is it just morphing into something else? I thought they were
It's still
splitting
around.
iTunes up. Okay.
Yeah, if
It's
you
still there.
we'll get there.
Yep, it's going to be on the show notes today. All right, so rolling along into show notes. Jarron's going to hear this and be like, "See, I hold this show together." Blah, blah, blah,
No, you
blah.
don't, Jarron. There you
Wow.
go. I
Ouch.
just refuted that.
He does. He knows what he does well, and he does it well. There's no
He
no
does.
denying that.
You're right. He
I
hurts
just-
so bad. Hey, Kirkland, Jarron, you need to be meaner and louder. Or
You do need to insult people more often.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just not that guy.
Fair enough.
another difference in the brand.
So speaking of Jarron, though, we're going to talk about some stuff that's really funny that he's not here for because it's things that he is super passionate about, like Apple's WWDC. That happened this last week.
Yeah.
And
What does
that's
WWDC stand for?
Worldwide Developer Conference.
Oh.
And they announced quite a few things. Software-wise, they announced iOS 13. No big surprise there. But they touted quite a few improvements and things adding to it. Apple's finally invented swipe typing.
Well, they finally have invented that?
Yep, they finally
I have a
invented
quick question.
that.
Does anybody here actually do swipe typing?
I do.
Occasionally.
Completely.
Why?
Because it's
only
faster.
Swipe. Yeah, it's way better.
Way faster. The world record for texting, speed texting, is done with swipe.
How about that?
Well, I guess I'm.
A Luddite. Yeah, it's fine.
I don't know what that means, but
You
I'm
should go
taking
look
it
at
as
it.
a compliment
Okay.
because
How
I
do
like
you not
lead.
know what Luddite is? You read the Dark Tower series.
Yeah.
They're the people that are afraid of technology
Oh, we just
from
call
the
them
Dark Tower
invalids.
series.
Oh no, those are Amish.
No, that's
No.
from real life.
Now you're just hurting people.
Yeah.
Define Luddite.
All right. So they announced that. They also said that apps will launch up to twice as fast on iOS 13. So that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. I got the bird from somebody about the Apple conference.
You did?
Yeah, I think it was Cody Taylor.
Oh.
I think he was like, "Hey, Owen, suck it," because the performance in the devices is much improved on like the Mac Pro. We'll get to that, but right? Didn't they put like double GPUs in or something?
Well, yeah, we're gonna get to that.
Okay.
That's
We're going to talk about the $1,000 neck.
Yeah, yep. We're gonna talk about that too. And then the other software they announced is I'm actually excited for this. iPad is getting its own OS.
Yup.
Yeah.
Really?
About time.
Yeah. So Ty, do you want to talk about that for a minute?
iPad OS.
Yes.
iPados, I think is how you pronounce
That's correct.
it.
Yes.
iPados. So pretty much, instead of having iOS be the exact same on iPhones and iPads, iPad is going to have its own version of iOS called iPad OS. And some of the improvements here, it's going to support external storage.
Yeah.
So you can plug in a hard drive, you can plug in a USB stick.
About time.
So remember that one time that everybody was like, "Hey, when you get an iPad, don't worry about the space on it because everything's going to be on the cloud."
Nope.
Yep, I do. Go ahead.
Oh, that's all you were saying.
That was it. That's it.
That's Jarron. There's Kirkland Jarron.
Yeah.
Aw.
So yeah. Besides that, just some
We're gonna have, like-
usability improvements.
Yeah. Better multitasking.
Multitasking windows. You can kind of have like a side window that's the size of an iPhone, basically.
Yep.
You can multitask better.
Bunch of widgets.
Yeah, widgets on the home screen. There will be supposedly much better folder navigation that's actually useful. That'd be nice.
Yeah. There's a new, supposedly a desktop class browser.
Yep. And then someone dug around. They didn't announce this, but someone dug around in the beta version and in accessibilities. They found mouse support.
Yeah, mouse support. And
which
if you
is
look
cool.
at it, the cursor is like a big circle because it's supposed to mimic your finger, I guess, instead of
jeez.
it looks
That's
a little weird.
terrible.
That's going to be weird. I'm going to change it into a rocket ship. So, really quick question. I didn't read this. I've only heard people speak it. But are they going to introduce like native being able to connect it to your laptop and it's going to be a second screen?
Yes.
Is that a
Oh
thing?
yeah, they announced
It's
that.
called Sidecar.
Is
Are
that
you-
part of iOS 13? I think, or is that part of iPad?
Is it
OS?
still you got to plug it in?
I think
to
you
each
have
other?
to connect from the computer
Oh, okay.
Is it going to be like an AirDrop setting or something?
from the Mac. So yeah, from the Mac, I think. Yeah,
It'll be
it's like
something-
a connection.
Because right now you can do it through an app, but you got to be plugged in.
Yeah, no, it'll be natively built
Yeah.
into the OS now.
Oh, it's going to be so nice. Do I have to have a new laptop for that?
No, I think that's
It should be just on anything that
that's a
supports.
Mac OS 10.15 feature.
Yeah, anything that supports Mac OS 10.15, which they're calling Catalina.
Catalina, yeah.
Like
so
the
they
island.
they talked about Catalina a little bit. They didn't go into too much detail on Catalina, though, did they?
No,
Not that I read anyway. Nothing super interesting.
Nothing too important, in my opinion.
Okay, so they did announce some hardware though at. There was some WatchOS stuff as well. WatchOS 6.
Yeah, the most interesting thing there is it's getting its own app store
Yeah.
on the watch.
Exactly.
So
That's
it
cool.
Seems like can you use it now with a non-iPhone?
That would be interesting if it could integrate with an Android phone.
I'd
and
be in for an
use-
Apple Watch if that's the case.
I would have until I got my Galaxy Watch.
Oh yeah, true.
Now I'm all about the Galaxy Watch.
My question is, like, can we get apps that don't revolve around like working out with my watch?
No, man, everything's about fitness.
No, we got
I
to
don't
check your
want-
pulse all the time.
Why? I don't wear my watch when I work out though. It's
You
not
don't?
comfortable. No.
You still like the feel?
Well, that and I primarily just weightlift, and so like I'm worried that I'm gonna like bang it. I like how you just checked out my arms. I'm not. It's toning,
Okay.
and I'm working on it.
Yeah. Yeah, looks good.
Thanks.
It's all right.
You know what? I'm taking that as a positive. I don't know your intonations yet, but I'm afraid that I'm gonna like bang it against the bar and break it
That's a legitimate concern, I suppose.
because they don't have like a.
You are kind of a spaz.
Thanks. They don't have a good. Thanks. They don't have a good like glass cover for the watch yet.
No, because the
Bevel on the
Yeah,
side.
the
Does it
bevel.
get scratched pretty easy? I thought it was like a sapphire.
That's what they'll say.
Apple says it has sapphire.
Dude, check
in
it out.
but
Look at how scratched that is.
If you go to Jerry Riggs,
And I take baths with it.
go to Jerry Rig Everything on YouTube. And years ago, when it first came out, or not years ago, but last year, I think he does it every time a new version comes out. He tests the durability of the screen with his Mohs hardness picks, and it never scores any better than the Gorilla Glass that's on the phones.
No, it's just a marketing talking point.
Yep,
If you say it enough times, people will start to believe you.
that's exactly what marketing is.
Yep.
All right, and then
Start with the why.
I'd say that covers the software aspect of it. They finally announced a new
Holy moly, do you hear that
Mac
from here?
Pro.
Jarron's yelling at us from
I
here.
know. You guys,
It's the vein actually yelling.
I figured
just the
he'd-
vein in his forehead.
I can hear his pulse from here.
I figured he'd be yelling at us for wearing shoes in his house because we are.
I was gonna have James like live Photoshop me standing in his house with my shoes on downstairs, and then I came down here and everybody was wearing shoes in the basement already as a real
wearing it.
joke. They just did it for real.
Yeah.
I know you don't drink wine, but I kind of wanted to buy some so I could give you a glass. You could hold it over his carpet.
I thought about spilling an energy drink and then having you Photoshop that onto his carpet as well.
I 100% can do that.
I know. I thought that would be fantastic.
Right, quote, Photoshop.
Yes. Photoshop.
Yeah.
We're gonna come back and he's gonna have a stroke.
I will have you know, though, after I got settled in, I took my shoes off. But not because Jarron wanted me to, because I chose to.
Why do you, I always take my shoes off when I go into houses. I love carpet, man.
I just don't think it's convenient.
Plus, he's just rejecting Jaron's authority.
That's more than anything
we're just,
what it is.
We're just rejecting.
Yeah.
And we have the lights on.
Well,
and
talk
all
about
sorts of things.
talk about the special unboxing that we're going to be doing after this.
Yeah, we're just going to go find something in Jarron's house to unbox. We're going to film a video of it.
We don't know what it'll be.
We're going to know.
We're going to call it surprise unboxing.
Yeah, at Jarron's house.
Do you not-
Surprise.
Do you not normally have the lights on?
Jarron sometimes makes us turn them off. This one, maybe over there. Do we keep them
I think
on?
we usually keep those ones on.
Yeah.
He says that these lights hurt his eyes.
They are kind of bright.
He also requires
Don't
two
get
light
started,
blankets.
Kirkland,
It's weird.
Jarron.
I don't know why we turned on every light in the house, but
We
Works
did.
for me.
Yeah.
Why did you open all the drawers upstairs too?
And I brought my mining rig. It's running upstairs. at
No
his house.
way. I was wondering why it was so warm up there.
Yep, I'm doing that. Free power.
It's
for
been
a-
running
for-
ever since he left.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 hours here.
We should test his surround sound system. What do you think it would sound like if we turned up to 100?
I don't know.
Would
Probably
it blow anything out?
It'd sound like a speaker blowing.
Oh, so you have that like slight rattle. I hope he doesn't think that we did that.
He'll take it
we
back.
could use that new feature on the Apple Watch that tells you if your surroundings are too loud and they'll damage your ears. That's a new
That's a new
Oh.
safety
a new-
feature?
yeah.
That-
So you can like take it to a concert and it'll tell you your ears are getting screwed, buddy.
Does
Really?
anyone who asks for these kinds of things? Is that something that
Somebody somewhere.
Probably my mom.
let me tell you?
Too
Dear,
loud.
dear, and she wrote the letter, you know.
Seriously.
Dear Apple, could you tell me when it's too loud?
And when I'm going too fast.
I feel like people need to know. And me too.
It's too bright outside. Give me a UV rating.
I was trying to reel us back in, but it
No,
didn't work.
Didn't work.
Oh. all right.
But hardware wise, yes, they announced finally a new Mac Pro. No more trash cans. So the
Now
new Mac,
you get.
It's now, yeah, it's like, it looks like a cheese grater now.
That's
well,
it. The cheese
it
grater.
Does,
Yeah.
It does. But the old one before the trash
Looked
can
like
looked
a-
like a cheese grater too.
Yeah.
It's a homage to their old design.
And
to
it's
all
rectangle.
cheese
At
graters.
least it's back to a rectangle.
yeah, it's back to a rectangle. It's somewhat modular.
Have you ever taken the case off the round one?
Oh yeah.
It's just a triangle that they
It is.
slid a cylinder over.
Yep. They have three.
Oh, that's a metaphor.
They have three slats that have the
Yeah,
components on it.
That's it.
So this one it looks a lot like the old one, just kind of more modern. It's on wheels, which is interesting.
So you can
the
get
whole
away with it
case-
faster.
That's right. The whole case comes off, which is kind of cool. There's a handle on top that you twist and then lift up, and the whole case comes off, exposing all the internal components.
So everybody can show everybody why they spent $7,000 on it.
So base model, $6,000.
What?
$6,000, and that comes with 32 gigs of RAM, an 8-core processor, a Radeon 580, and 256 terabyte. Yeah, right. 256 gigabytes of solid state storage.
With
That is what you get for
with
$6,000.
electric cars getting cheaper and Macintosh is getting more expensive, I cannot wait until I have a self-driving Mac. It's gonna be great
someday.
because it has wheels.
And that's the interesting thing about this is for the last few years, Apple has actually done a fairly good job with their iMacs and their MacBook Pros on being competitive for the components that are inside.
Yep.
For the most part.
Yeah.
But they totally flipped the script on this one with the Mac Pro because I watched a Linus Tech Tips video where they priced out how much it would cost to build a PC with these same components, not even comparable, like a 256 NVMe solid state.
This is all brand
30
name hardware too, right?
Of course,
They're not going
of course.
with any like
no.
knockoff.
This is good quality stuff, and they
okay.
can build the same computer for $3,100 that you can buy from Apple for $6,000.
So a 2,900 markup for the name, for the marketing
Yep,
brand,
about $3,000 for that,
and a
That's
cheese
not
grater,
right,
and a
though.
cheese grater case,
Yep,
and wheels. Don't forget the casters.
it's got wheels.
Don't the wheels cost extra though?
Do they?
I think they do.
Probably.
Does it come with the screen?
They're
The
little
6K
apples.
screen?
No, that's totally separate, man.
That's just the tower. No display with
Just
those.
the tower. Now they are. You can configure up to like an absurd amount of RAM, 1.5 terabytes of RAM.
Why would
Yeah.
you need that much RAM?
If you're
You
going to
could render a
use
video
it,
and-
yeah. If you're going to use it for actual, real, like pro level video work and stuff like that, you could do a lot with that much RAM.
And I guess it future proofs a little bit, but
Yeah, that as well. But it has that. You can configure. I can't remember how many terabytes of solid state, but it was a lot. I think it was like, I don't remember.
Is this still using the
was
Intel's
a lot.
architecture?
So still
using-
still uses a slightly modified Xeon processor.
Right.
It might even be off the shelf Xeon processor. And then they did go with AMD for their graphics cards again, but they did something a little interesting with this, which I'll give them credit for. It's kind of neat. AMD has released a special graphics card just for the Mac Pro that is two, not Radeon 7s. It's the Vega Pro or Radeon Vega. I think I can't remember. Anyway, it's their Pro level
Radeon Pro Vega 2.
There we go, Radeon Pro Vega, and they call these the Radeon Pro Vega 2s because you can actually get it with 2 GPUs on one card. Now, this isn't new technology. AMD and even NVIDIA once or twice has done this in the past where they slap 2 GPUs on one card, and then it's basically as though you have a card that's 2 cards in SLI, except it's on one card. So it basically, it takes the 2 aspect out of it and puts it on one card, but it still performs as 2 GPUs, if that makes sense. Now, what's interesting about this is AMD's using its new Infinity fabric that it uses on its high-end CPUs as well to get those 2 GPUs to talk together very quickly, up to 86 gigabytes per second transfer, which is almost on par with what NVIDIA uses for their NVLink stuff.
That's fast.
Which is 100 gigabytes. So they're actually approaching that. But here's the thing. When you slap 2 GPUs on one card, it means you can actually fit 2 cards in the MacBook or in the Mac Pro with 2 GPUs each, so you can have up to 4 GPUs running in your little renderer in a Mac Pro. And each GPU can come with up to 32 gigabytes of VRAM, HBM2 VRAM, which is super fast.
Sounds
VRAM.
like a pre-built miner for me.
Yeah, for $50,000.
Yeah, well,
but
can't all be gold.
What did Jeff Goldblum say in Jurassic Park?
Nature finds
we
a
spent
way.
So much time wondering if we could.
Oh.
We never took time to wonder if we should. I don't know if he said that, but that sounds like something he would say in that movie.
He didn't sound like that at all.
But yeah, so we're talking 128 gigabytes of VRAM, HBM2 VRAM, if you fully max out the GPU capabilities of the new Mac Pro, which is dang impressive. And there's use cases for that if you're working at like Pixar or DreamWorks or somewhere like that.
Yeah, there's a few use cases, but not very many.
No. We're talking about like less than 1% of users would actually be able to do this, but those guys are going to be pretty stoked about it. Because the other thing is when you slap 2 GPUs on there, 2 Radeon Vega Pro GPUs, compute-wise, I can't remember. I think it was like almost 25 teraflops of compute per card.
Yeah, this says 56 teraflops
with 2 dual GPUs, so 56 teraflops. That is a crazy amount of compute.
That's a lot of flops of Terra.
Indeed. So in that aspect, it is pretty neat. They did push the boundary on a few things with this new Mac Pro stuff, but man, they are going to charge you through the nose for it. So keep that in mind. I'm excited to, when they get their configurator up for it, I'm going to max out one as if I was going to buy it and see how much it'll cost. Because I would bet you if you maxed out the everything, including the solid state hard drives, I'll bet you're in the 40 to 50K range. It would not surprise me at all because there's 12 RAM slots. Okay, I did the math on this, me and a buddy. There's 12 RAM slots on that motherboard, and they say you can have up to 1.5 terabytes of RAM, okay? So you take 1.5 terabytes of RAM, divide that by 12 RAM slots. That means you're getting 128 gigabyte sticks.
Right.
One RAM stick is 128 gigabytes. Now, we price those out, and this is not ECC RAM. This is cheaper RAM. A 128 gigabyte stick of RAM is $1,500. So imagine that plus the Apple tax. Plus, it'll be higher quality RAM than that. And so I'll bet you minimum, just if you wanted to max the RAM out, but I mean, who the heck's going to do that? But there's got to be a few.
Pixar.
Probably, yeah, Pixar, DreamWorks, your head animators, stuff like
Tim
that.
Cook.
You're going to be looking at spending, just for the max RAM upgrade, probably in the neighborhood of 20 to 25K. Just for the RAM. It's crazy.
Have we gone too far? Have we done it? Have we gone too far? Are we too much in the future?
I guess. I don't know.
We need to go to Mars?
You could almost go to Mars for the price of a MacBook or a Mac Pro.
It seems like Apple went too far with the Mac Pro.
They did.
I think people didn't want it to be that high end.
Yeah, I think you're right. Now the interesting thing too is they announced another interesting thing I should say is they announced a monitor that is super nice. The monitor itself, for what you're getting, is actually, I'll defend it. It's actually not a bad deal.
How much is it again?
$5,000, $6,000 if you want to stand.
That's why they call
What?
it 6K.
Yeah,
The 6K
Six.
monitor.
Wait, so you paid $1,000 extra for the stand?
does not come with a stand. Doesn't come with a mount. Just the panel itself. And if you want a stand that it works with, it's $1,000.
I don't know how they did it.
Super glue,
But
people.
selling it without the stand is like buying something without the batteries. But this is a computer monitor.
Right. It'd be like buying a car that doesn't come with wheels.
Just the frame. Just the frame, folks.
Yeah.
This is your Shelby Cobra frame.
Oh, you want wheels on that? Ooh, well, that's gonna run you another $2,000. Sorry.
I feel like that's the way the industry's going, where they need to diversify so that they can compete with themselves, to give people more options, to give them something else. So, have you ever heard of the middle price mentality, or the middle price pricing scheme? Go to they use it at movie theaters, so everybody will be able to relate. But they have a small popcorn for $2. They got a medium popcorn. And everybody knows a small is, well, that's a small. They got a medium popcorn for $2.50 or let's say $3.
Okay.
And then they've got the large for $3.25.
Well,
so
I want to get the large.
Why not spend 25 cents more to just go up to the large?
Yeah.
But the small, which would have been sufficient for what they needed, was $1.50. But now they're spending like 3 times as much.
Well, if I'm spending this much, might as well just
roll.
the best.
It's a pricing scheme. There's some psychology behind it, but I feel like that's what all these tech companies are doing now. They need a middle offering so that you'll go for the larger one.
This
makes
isn't
sense.
like that. This is like required DLC.
I'd say this is
super
more
expensive.
extreme than that, but I definitely see where you're going with that.
Like they split the market against themselves.
all
to
the
give-
phone companies do that now for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Samsung, Apple does
They
it.
give you this middle option, then you go, well, for $50 more, I can just get the high-end phone.
Yeah.
When you weren't going to spend that $50, you probably weren't even going to get the middle phone. You were looking at the low-end phone
Yeah.
or whatever. There's some psychology behind that type of marketing and whatever. But
So with this stand being $1,000, you can buy the panel by itself, I believe, for $5,000. But here's the thing about this monitor. It is 32 inches. It is 6K. It is full 10-bit color, and they boast 80,000 to 1 contrast ratio. I can't remember. It's super high contrast ratio. They're saying basically it's going to have it's going to be as good as a reference monitor used in animation and marketing development, but you're getting it for $5,000, which a reference monitor in the industry is usually over 10. So, I mean, in that aspect, it's actually kind of a good deal if that's what you are in the market for. For anyone else, it's crazy price. The only thing it doesn't have, honestly, would be like high refresh rate. It does tap out at 60 hertz. Doesn't do 144 or 120 or anything like that. So you definitely don't want to buy this to game. This isn't a gaming monitor by any stretch. And well, neither is the Mac Pro for gaming. But for content creation, this monitor looks beastly. It looks really, really good.
I want it.
They said it was 1,000,000 to 1 contrast ratio.
1,000,000 to 1, okay. But then again, contrast ratios are one of those things that monitor and TV makers in the industry, there's no actual like benchmark. It's just whatever they say it is. So take that with a grain of salt. But I will say that the monitor itself looks pretty cool for what it is. But the monitor stand for $1,000, get out of town. That's absurd.
But it's magnetic, Tony.
Just crazy.
Get it out.
I have a magnet at home that can lift 50 pounds, and I think I paid $12 for it.
just use that.
It's a neodymium magnet. It's a 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch cube. It'll lift 50 pounds. I got it for like $12 on the internet one day because it looked cool.
What? That's cool.
Yeah, right?
That's an interesting buy.
So there's your WWDC talk in a nutshell, in a 25-minute nutshell.
Are we skipping the Apple TV will support controller?
Oh, no, yeah. Briefly mention that
yeah,
for sure.
so you can use your Xbox or your PlayStation controller now to play Apple TV games.
Yeah, which is cool. I don't think it's as useful.
I don't think I'd ever do it.
No, but it's nice that it's an option.
Yeah, when they released their gaming subscription thing that they announced,
Yeah, might be good.
that's
then.
an option.
Yeah, because before now, I think I bought the nicest controller that works with Apple's devices, the iPad and the TV, and it was like $50 or $40, and it's okay. I think it was SteelSeries makes it,
Sounds right, yeah.
and it was all right. But one big downfall is the joysticks don't click,
Oh.
so you have less inputs
Yeah.
than on your PlayStation or Xbox controllers. But it was an all right controller. But because I bought it, I got really excited when they announced the Sony PlayStation streaming to the iPad. So I'm like, I'm gonna play my PlayStation from bed. I've done it once, but I went out and bought that controller, and it works good. But it's just the controller standards are set by Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo, and so if
Yep.
Everything else is a knockoff.
everything else, those are the benchmarks basically. And there's a few that are higher end that you're going to pay like $150 for. Some of the scuff stuff, some of what was the other one that just came out that looked really good? Not Logitech. I can't remember. Astro just put one out that supposedly looks pretty good. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of cool though, especially for if there's some good casual games that will run better with a gamepad.
Yeah, I was thinking that with iOS games, they're usually cheaper
Yeah.
than what you buy on PlayStation or Xbox. So if there's like a good iOS game that you can play on your Apple TV and it's $5 instead of 15, so it's an option now.
So it's kind of cool, kind of neat.
While we're on it, whatever happened with that lawsuit against Apple and
Which one?
Their App Store? There was a lawsuit saying that the App Store was basically a monopoly because there wasn't any like.
I haven't heard
competition.
anything on that in years.
I'm gonna look that up. I
wonder
swear
if
there
it
was just movement on the.
It might have
the
just
other day.
quietly gone away.
Google has one ongoing right now that just got brought up. So there's a third-party app store that came out, and in order to get to that app store, you have to install a Google app, and Google kind of completely demoted that app.
Oh,
you
really?
can't find it in the store; they buried it,
Jeez.
and so there's like this antitrust lawsuit going on against them about competition and all that.
Yeah, developers file
Interesting.
antitrust lawsuit against Apple over App Store.
All right. While you're researching into that, let's talk a little bit about Computex. Computex was the week before WWDC, and there was a lot of just like kind of random announcements at Computex. Every manufacturer came out with their new line of like gaming laptops and things like that. And AMD had the keynote opening press conference to Computex for the first time, and they put on a killer show. They teased their Navi GPUs, which is their next generation GPUs, but they only did a couple of demos, didn't give you any real concrete details, but they said at E3, which is next week, they're going to come out with a lot more
Yeah,
info.
I'm not sure if we mentioned that we're recording this.
So we're recording this early.
Early.
Because everyone's got a lot of stuff going on next week. So this is the Friday before E3. So if you were hoping to get E3 coverage in this episode, sorry, that'll be next week in the next episode or whatever. But we did get some little nuggets early that we're going to talk about. So at Computex, they did mention they're going to have more information for the Navi GPUs from AMD at E3. And then they did a full announcement, full rundown, specs, prices, everything of the new Ryzen 3 chips, which I'm very excited for. Basically, long story short, they showed off all their new Ryzen stuff, and they're going to have up to a 12-core CPU in their mainstream Ryzen processor chipsets, which will boost up to 4.6 gigahertz out of the box and support 12-core and PCI Express 4.0, which is an industry first for consumer-grade hardware. So that is really neat. PCI Express 4 doubles the bandwidth of PCI Express 3. So that'll be up to, I believe, 32 gigabytes per second, I think is PCI 4. And then the 12 cores, if you go online, you can see a picture. AMD is kind of pioneering this new way of laying out their CPUs. They call it chiplet, where you have the memory controller and everything like that on one separate block, and then on the same chip you have another little block or up to 2 little blocks on these that have your actual CPU cores in them. And so it's really interesting because that way they can do the larger nanometer process on the memory controller and everything like that, because that doesn't need to be as small and as fast as the CPU cores do. So that's 12 nanometer, I believe, on the Ryzen 3 chips. And then the chiplets are 7 nanometer, which is also an industry first, the first 7 nanometer CPUs. So yeah, they basically showed off a bunch of demos and everything of these CPUs in action, and they meet or outstrip everything Intel has to offer right now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Intel hasn't been put on their heels like this in probably over a decade. Now, the first Ryzens that came out, everyone was like, "Ooh, this is neat." That was like AMD coming to the table and be like, "We're here to play."
Yeah, it's like there's an option now besides Intel.
Yep, there is an option now. It's cheaper than Intel, which AMD has almost always been, but it's not quite as good. But it's good enough that if you're down for paying a little less and getting a little less performance, this is a good option. Now with Ryzen 3, they came to win, is what it looks like. They came to town with stuff that is as good or better in every aspect, at least that they showed off.
And did you say it's using the same Zen 2 architecture?
Uses uses Zen 2 architecture, which is
I can just upgrade my current board if I had the Ryzen.
If you have AM4 socket.
Yeah, I've got the AM4 socket.
Yeah, you can just drop the new chip in.
Oh, I want to do that.
That's the thing. It's freaking
I did that
sweet.
when like 2.5 years ago. I built that. I kind of went out and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the Ryzen 1500.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's got the AM4 slot, or AM4, right? Socket.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to go with that. And hopefully this AMD thing keeps
Works
going out.
Yeah.
Because it was much, I mean, it was a lot cheaper than the Intels at the time, even for the 1500. I think I got the 1500X. And it's been a great chip. Like, it's just solid.
I've had my 1700X since it first came out, which is first gen Ryzen, and it's been great.
You going to upgrade?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doing new motherboard and everything because I want that PCI Gen 4 goodness.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the other interesting thing about it is even Intel's always had a lead on AMD for the last decade on IPC, which stands for instructions per calculation. And so that's the kind of thing that when you see single core performance, Intel was always better with one core than AMD was. But they've brought that IPC up so that your single core performance is as good or better than anything Intel has to offer. AMD is offering their 12 core chip at $499. 12 core chip from Intel, $1,200. $1,200. You can get a 12 core chip from AMD for $500.
Jeez,
It's crazy.
That's a lot of money.
So I'm super excited. Obviously, wait for benchmarks, wait for reviews, all of that good stuff before you go plunking down your hard-earned dough for a $500 CPU or whatever. They had the 12 core, and then they had the an 8 core with this is basically their base 8 core chip. Ryzen 7 8 core is 330. And then they have an 8 core that's clocked higher, and that one's 400.
Yep.
And then if you jump another $100, you get the 12 core that's clocked even higher than the previous 8 core.
Yeah, you might as well just pay the extra and get the best.
Get the large popcorn.
Get the large popcorn.
Dude, yes, I'm telling you,
That's exactly what they're doing, and it worked for me 100%.
it works.
So I'm really excited for that. I can't wait. They should launch, they said, around July. Oh no, they gave an exact date, July 7th, because they're doing a numbers thing. It's Ryzen 7 nanometer on 7/7.
7/7s, love
July
it.
7. So yeah, I'm super excited for that. I can't wait, and I am still though. Even though I want to get one to review, I gotta wait for real reviewers to do their stuff first before I
Linus
get it.
Tech Tips, is it?
Yeah, I got to see Linus's video. I want to see Jay's 2 cents. I want to see Tom's Hardware's website stuff on it, because that's a lot of money to shell out just to have the first one. So, but yeah, that's definitely, I think, going to be something that I take a look at. Okay, so some pre-E3 gaming news. We have Google Stadia has finally been shown off and detailed a little further.
Yeah, so they finally talked about some details, Stadia. So it's going to launch in November. And right now, you can buy the Founders Edition of Stadia.
Well, what is Stadia first for the people that don't know?
Stadia is Google's streaming solution.
Yes.
What resolution
It's supposed to any browser anywhere, right?
Any
Well,
Chrome
Chrome.
browser.
Any Chrome browser.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I think at launch, it's only through the Chromecast Ultra. I think it's
Yeah, that's what
initially
you're-
that's
yeah.
the only thing it'll work through. But
Eventually,
soon
will it
after
work on my
that,
iPad?
if you have a Chrome browser,
Yes.
they might.
They didn't mention
Yeah, they didn't
specifically
talk about
Apple. They talked about Android devices, Android TV devices.
Like it'll work on a Pixel 3.
Yeah.
Is it like
And-
through a URL?
Yeah, well, it's through the Chrome browser. Basically, the Chrome browser.
They might release an app that'll work on iOS. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't-
okay.
I'm
If
not-
it's a plugin, that's fine.
I'm not sure. That's a good question if they're going to support Apple or not. It'd be really funny if they did. Like if
Why,
just because it'd be kind of a
It's a
in
second
your
app
face.
store.
Yeah. In your face, Apple. We're going to stream games to your device better than you do, kind of a thing, if it happens. But the whole point of Stadia is to have a crappy laptop and be able to play high-end games.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because all the compute is happening on their servers,
Mm-hmm.
so they're just streaming it to you. So they announced some pricing and everything. So $130 is the Founders Edition, which you can buy now.
I pre-ordered it.
You did?
I did.
Are you for
I've been
real?
thinking about it.
I pre-ordered it because
It's actually not it's not a bad deal because that comes with the Chromecast Ultra, which is $70.
Yep.
That comes with a controller, which is $70.
Yep.
Right there, that's $140. And it comes with 3 months of Stadia Pro. Mm-hmm. Stadia Pro is it's kind of like their Xbox Game Pass,
Yep.
but there's a little bit more to it than that. So the pricing scheme is it's going to be $10 a month for Stadia Pro, which comes with their games like Game Pass, but also that gives you the ability to do 4K HDR streaming.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you don't want 4K HDR, it's going to be free. Just the access to Stadia is free.
Yeah.
You still have to buy the games though. Like you don't get any games for free. You
Right.
buy the games just like any other console.
And
If you want their like Game Pass style or like PlayStation Now style, then it's $10 a month.
But you also get better quality streaming if your ISP can handle it.
Exactly.
Bro, I'm gonna get it. I saw this. Oh my gosh, I gotta get this. Hold on.
See,
Where do I buy it at?
I dug into, just go to stadia.com and it'll have a pre-order for it right there. I dug into my pockets and decided I was going to throw down on it because I really want to review it for the podcast.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting it too now.
I'll be honest, after the 3 months are up, I'm probably not going to renew it. I'll probably sell the controller and the Chromecast Ultra because I don't need them. Like, I honestly don't have really that much interest in playing streaming games because I have my gaming PC.
Right.
I have an Xbox One X and a PS4. So
Yeah.
I'm all about the local gaming where I know the lack of latency, the power is, things like that. But
What color did you guys get?
It only comes with one color.
Yeah, you can only get the blue.
Oh, you're not. Oh, that's if you want to buy additional controllers.
Oh, reading.
Yeah,
Which I kind of like the blue controller. It looks pretty cool.
it looks good.
Wasabi?
There's a wasabi, there's a black, there's a white,
So scroll up.
and the blue if you pre-order.
That's the one.
Oh, is that blue?
Yeah,
Looks
the
black to me.
something blue.
Interesting.
It's got orange highlights.
It says it's Stadia Founders Edition.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be out in November.
Yeah, they announced November. If you want to do 4K, it's going to require 35 megabits per second.
Okay.
1080p is going to require 20 megabits per second,
Okay.
and the base level 720 is 10 megabits per second.
Okay.
You able to play
And
this
it's everything. It's all 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
There's no like 30 frame downgrade.
That'd be nice.
Is it all Wi-Fi? Do I have to?
It's all Wi-Fi. The controller connects via Wi-Fi.
That is an interesting thing about the controller. Every other controller that you use uses Bluetooth or a form of special Wi-Fi that's ad hoc with the system. That's the Xbox. Everything else uses Bluetooth.
This uses your local home network.
This actually connects straight to your router.
Oh man,
And goes-
prepare to have network problems. Like, can you imagine like people with really dirty networks, like tons of Wi-Fi interference? and,
Hold
like,
on. You can't just blast past saying something like that.
Dirty-
What is a dirty
dirty.
network?
like plugged in stuff that they don't know, loops like network loops, or
I don't
like
think people's networks are that complicated.
or like
Owen.
or like
You're thinking about
an apartment
office.
complex.
He's thinking about office.
What about an
networks.
apartment complex
Now, if
that
you're
has
on-
like 50?
Okay, if you're on a shared,
yeah,
you
like,
might have issues.
You probably
Yeah.
shouldn't be playing Stadia at work. Hold on. Am I going to do something wrong in my house?
Nope, go for
It's
it.
dusty. Does that count as a dirty
No,
network?
I
That
mean,
does not.
I was thinking logically, not physically.
Oh, I'm sorry that
Yeah,
I don't live in
dirt-
your realm right now.
dirt-
I don't
pour
have
dirt-
tomatoes on my router.
Pour dirt on it. I don't care. Maybe you'll grow some tomatoes on it. Pour some dirt on
growing
it.
tomatoes right now outside my backyard.
How's that going?
It's not.
I was just trying to change the subject. Good,
My
there you go.
nothing's breached.
Aw.
I'm growing lots of tomatoes. 13 plants, actually.
Sucker. You got no tomatoes, James.
I got tomatoes on my router. I got tomatoes in my garden.
This
I got
guy.
some tomatoes growing in my bathroom
if
right
I want
now.
to get tomatoes,
right
guess what?
now.
I'll just go to Smith's and get tomatoes. okay?
tomatoes
I don't
suck.
need to grow them.
No, you don't.
Somebody else can pick them for me.
Mm-hmm.
Tomatoes.
Let's see. What else was there about Stadia? I think that about... except for...
well,
you forgot one other thing you get if you do the Founders Edition.
Founders Edition. Well, what do you get?
You get Destiny, the full Destiny experience.
They said the full Destiny experience is going to be part
does
of
that even
Stadia
mean?
Pro. So does that mean you get it forever, or do you just get it for those 3 months?
I assume you get it as long as you subscribe, because
Yeah, I
that's
think
exactly how Xbox
That's
is.
yeah, I think that's part of Stadia Pro. That's
Okay.
that's the one game they've announced.
Yeah.
As part of Stadia Pro, which actually pretty good. If you're going to play Destiny, you're going to be online anyway, so you might as well stream it
Yeah, if it works good.
if it works good.
So
yeah.
remember, months ago, Jarron and I were part of the beta for Google Stadia. At that time, they called it Project Stream.
right.
Right.
And so I used it on my home internet, which at the time I usually got about 60 up and 60 down. So it should have been good enough for
Should have been,
4K HDR. Jarron has a monstrous internet pipe, 1 gig up and down. And both of us had terrible experiences with it.
Yes,
Really?
I put
like
in my
just
information.
jittery, like
So control latency was all right, but there was rubber banding. So you'd push your character forward and then he would slide back to where he was. There was...
that's IO issues, like at the server, like at the processing level. Right?
There was, I think it. I don't know.
You think it was
honestly.
latency coming across?
I don't see how it could be though, because
Yeah.
both of our internet connections were
So
really
it's got to
solid.
be hardware.
I hope so, because they can fix that.
Right.
Google has control over that. There was tons of macro blocking. Like the graphics just looked poopy. It was definitely something where if I was paying for it, I would have asked for a refund. But then again, that was beta.
It was a beta.
It was beta. So I really hope this takes off, honestly, because I'm all for more competition in the gaming marketplace.
Yeah, and they announced a bunch of their like games that they're going to support partnerships. Basically,
They had a pretty good exclusive.
pretty good list.
Not well, kind of exclusive. Their exclusive announcement. But
You talking about
you know it.
Baldur's Gate?
Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, Baldur's Gate
was
3 is going to
great.
be exclusive to Stadia and PC,
And PC.
only, so you can't get it on Xbox or PlayStation. But they also, like Ubisoft, so all the Ubisoft games basically is on
Yep.
board. Bethesda's on board, so you get Doom and Doom Eternal.
They should have a fairly good
Yeah,
live.
Square Enix is on.
Fairly good
2K
new-
games, so Borderlands 3 is going to be there.
Ooh,
So yeah,
I bought
that's
it.
pretty good stuff.
yeah. Did you buy it, James?
Yeah. wait. Borderlands 3 is going to be on?
Borderlands 3 is going to be supported,
Awesome.
yeah.
I didn't have a way to play that game outside of my PC.
Well, you're still gonna want to play it on your PC.
Yep. I'm
I
not
don't know.
disagreeing.
If this actually works, it's a really good solution for anybody who wants to play 4K games 60
Yeah.
frames per second.
That's-
It is.
That's an interesting way that you just phrased that, though. It'll be good if it works.
Right, and that's the crutch.
We don't know.
But we don't know. So that's exactly what pushed me over the edge on whether I was going to buy it or not to review on the podcast, because I want to see it work. I think
Yeah.
it'd be great.
Yeah. One other thing though, if you have data caps,
That's a big problem.
because it uses 15.75 gigabytes per hour. So
Yeah.
So you're
Holy
at,
cats!
so you're at 1 terabyte in 65 hours of play.
And
So if
that's
you have
just gaming. That's not including everything else on your
that's
network.
just using Stadia. So if you're
If you're on Comcast, get ready to pay some overages.
So if you play Assassin's Creed Odyssey as much as I have in the past month, you're gonna hit your data cap
Yep.
just from that.
Yep.
Makes me so mad that you didn't start off with that. I just bought it, man. I have Comcast. Why would you say that last? Hold on, is there a cancel button?
So it's a 1 terabyte.
Review or
Data
edit
cap.
order? I'm gonna cancel this. friggin-
Nah, you're not going to play it 65 hours in a month. Come on. Let's be honest.
That's true.
The only games you play for that long are Roller Coaster Tycoon and RimWorld.
Forgot about Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Don't open it up. Gosh dang.
Ah, look at all my roller coasters.
What did I do?
Ah, looks like America.
America. So yeah, that's Stadia. More to come in the months that lead up to it to its launch in November. I'm excited to see it work. Will it ever be my primary gaming platform? Probably no. Like 90% no. Yeah. But like I said, I want to see that competition in the marketplace. And when you're talking about something where the barrier of entry is as low as just buying the game sometimes.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Because they have their own controller, but you can also use Xbox or PlayStation controllers. It'll just be connected to the laptop instead of straight to the router. And when I played the beta, I was using an Xbox controller wireless to my PC. And like I said, the latency actually on the controller itself wasn't that bad. And that was in the beta. So I'm sure it's as good or hopefully better. But we're talking about 4K HDR. Well, no, you're not going to get that because that would be $10 a month. If you just want to buy the game, you can get 1080p 60 for just the price of the game. No hardware purchase.
Yeah, and one thing they have promised is the load times are going to be way better than a normal console.
Well, I would hope so because everything's rendered in a server farm that has lots of powerful components
and lots of powerful gerbils.
Kind of should feel like browsing a web page where it
should be quick,
where it's just displaying.
One of the neat things too, I read, they didn't talk about it at this event, but when they first took the cover off it, like 4 months ago, they talked about how their plan is to, if you have someone streaming it on their YouTube platform, you'd be able to hit a button on YouTube that figures out where the streamer is at in the game, and you can pick up the game from that point as you play.
What?
So you can play with them. So like a live sync.
Kind of.
Where you wouldn't
interfere with their game.
No, you'd play along with them.
Yeah, you'd play along with them from the same point. But that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, but we've also learned that unless you own that game or that game is part of Stadia Pro, then you can't do that.
Right. It would I think I misspoke. It takes you to a purchase option for the game. And then you start the game right.
So that's how they
point.
sell. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good way to actually.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, this looks fun. I want to play this. Bought.
Boom. $60.
Yep.
We do have to dial it back though just a little bit because there's a maybe chance of physical games going away in the future. And I don't really like what they're doing with Minecraft story mode. How they're
Minecraft has a story mode?
Yeah.
Oh, the Telltale game?
Yeah, the Telltale game.
Yeah, that is an issue.
Play it anymore, even if you own it.
That's a good thing to bring. No, you can still play it. You just won't be able to download it. So if you already have it installed, you're fine.
Yeah, but what happens if I delete it?
You're screwed.
Yeah, exactly. I paid money for that game.
That is a problem.
Not me.
I have 360 some odd Steam games. If Steam ever goes belly up, all those games are gone.
I did not think of that. I've been treating Steam games like Pokemon, man. You got to collect them all.
Got to collect them all. But luckily, I don't ever see that happening with Steam just because they're so big.
What happens if...
But I could be wrong. Who knows?
If George R.R. Tolkien dies, will...
two different people. Oh, look, you triggered Owen.
Hate that guy.
That's not even a real guy.
You know what? I hate that name of that guy, the fictional guy.
Sorry, Brandon Martin. What's his name?
Oh, just
Who are we talking about?
Nah. If George R.R. Martin dies, will Gabe Newell take over for writing Game of Thrones because they look so similar?
They don't look similar.
They're two big white guys.
Oh my gosh.
That show's over.
Oh, boy.
What? Game of Thrones?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He's still got to write his books if he ever does.
No, I hope that his fingers fall off. And he goes blind.
He can dictate it.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
And now mute. Also mute.
I like the last episode. That's good.
Because it was the end?
No, because it was the only episode the previous 2 seasons that seemed like it knew where it was going.
Disagree.
The other ones were like duct tape. It was visual duct tape.
It was all garbage the entire
It was
season.
duct tape and saran wrap.
Trash. Trash, and then he came out and was like,
Bunch of-
"My book will definitely be better. My book will definitely have a different ending."
All that is he's used the HBO subscribers as a soak test.
That's it. Yep. He's
so
like,
that he knows what
it's
not
like,
to write.
yeah, he's
Focus
like,
group?
yeah, it was like a gigantic focus group.
Yeah. Oh, you guys don't like that? I wasn't going to do
They
that.
hated that. I was never.
I
Gonna
was
do that.
out buying more train hats.
Yeah, I was out on Loch Ness
Because I'm a toot train conductor.
with my beard.
I love my beans
And
All
his
right.
hat.
and bran.
So we got to hit on the final announcement of Genesis mini games.
Oh, wait, one more thing.
Oh,
with the
Stadia?
Stadia.
What?
One thing that I found interesting with the Destiny announcement is that they're allowing you to transfer your save from any platform. So whether you played on PS4, Xbox, or PC.
That's a Destiny specific announcement though, not Stadia, right? Or game saves.
I don't know if it's just for Stadia or not.
I think it's Destiny.
I thought it was Stadia.
That'd be cool. I mean, I would see that they would at least be able to do it for PC because I'm sure it uses the same save file.
I was already
system.
planning on doing that. I haven't played it yet, so
Yeah, so you can transfer your save from.
Yeah.
Did you play on Xbox or?
Oh wait, are we talking about the first Destiny?
No, Destiny 2.
Oh yeah, no, it's my save. Yeah,
right.
because I haven't played it.
Yeah, so I played it like the original Destiny 2, just like the vanilla, none of the DLC.
Oh man, you're missing out on some good stuff.
So I'm thinking maybe if I just get this Stadia Founders Pack, I can transfer my PS4 save over and play the expansions.
You should be able to.
Do they?
Yeah.
Now that actually rolls into the other topic that was about Destiny. Was they announced a whole lot of changes to Destiny over the last couple days.
Define.
So change number 1: the base game for Destiny 2 and the first year of expansions, which is Curse of Osiris and Warmind, are now free to play.
Interesting.
So
On what system?
everything.
And you paid for those?
As of
Yeah,
right now,
Okay.
But they gave those out as of, I don't know when the date is because they're relaunching it as Destiny New Light is what they're calling that base system.
because I never played the expansions.
Yeah, so those will be free for you. And then the big expansions like Forsaken and the upcoming Shadow Keep, those will cost money. So they're going with kind of a more modern MMO style pricing structure minus monthly. There's no monthly fee or anything like that, which is really neat because I think it's going to give a lot of people much less of a barrier to try out Destiny.
Yeah.
Because it's a super fun game. I really enjoy it. So there's that. That was one announcement.
In Destiny, do they ever talk about the House of Glass?
I don't think they
the
brought
game?
it up in Destiny 2 yet.
I mean the Vault of Glass?
Or Vault of Glass? Yeah, that's what it was.
No, they have. I didn't do any of those missions that I can.
Oh, is it a
remember, though.
mission now?
I can't remember.
Did they bring that back in D2?
No,
I thought that was only a D1
Did
thing.
you?
Yeah, that was
Did
a
you play the
D1
first
thing.
Destiny?
I'm thinking of Iron Banner. They brought back Iron Banner from Destiny 2. But they announced Shadow Keep, which is the next big expansion coming out in the fall, and we're going back to the moon. That was from Destiny 1.
Where the wizards live.
Yeah.
Wait,
wizard,
what?
That wizard came from the moon. So Destiny 2, you haven't had any playable area on the
Dude,
moon.
I want to say like Destiny 1 out of all the video games I played, that's the one that I probably have put the most time into.
Yeah, I played it a ton too.
Yeah.
I
but,
never
like,
got into the first one. It took the second one for some
here's
reason
the-
for me to get
No,
into
that's
it.
completely understandable. The first one was super shallow, especially if you started from vanilla.
Yeah.
So like I played the crap out of vanilla, and vanilla through the first expansion kept me in. And then there was 3 expansions, right? Or 4.
The first big expansion was Taken King, I think.
Yeah,
So there was
something
like two
that.
small expansions before that, and then Taken King, and then there was another like.
I think they count those as DLCs, and then expansions would be the ones that kind of retool the game. Taken King, and then I can't remember what their third year one was called.
Yeah, it was like Iron
Was that the Iron Banner?
something.
No.
Rise of Iron.
Rise of Iron, yeah. And then in Destiny, you had Destiny 2, you had Destiny 2, and then year 2 was Forsaken.
Yeah.
And the third year is Shadow Keep.
I was going to say, though, but Destiny 1 was the first game that ever made me have friends that I've never met and I still talk to.
Oh,
Just
okay.
meeting them through Xbox Live. But, I mean, like playing the first Destiny, it was super shallow. Like, but I would play those strikes over and over
Yeah.
and over
Yeah,
and
me
over.
too.
I can't tell you how many times I've beaten that Rain Core looking guy on the moon. And so it's super weird, like hearing that you haven't been to the moon.
Yeah, there's no moon in Destiny 2 so far, like no playable moon area.
But the way that Destiny was sold to me was it was like a better Halo almost. And like in all of the previews before it came out, it would show like the ships like fly in and like drop you off with friends, which totally that did not happen. Like I just imagined it was like some kind of like hybrid between like Mass Effect's spaceship, so you could actually walk around on the ship.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where you and all your friends would meet up and go fly down. And you could fly into anywhere on the map, and which is super not like that. And did it start out with sparrows? Could you get sparrows from the very beginning? Or is that an intro?
You got it in like the 3rd level or something like that.
Yeah.
Same with Destiny 2. So with Destiny 2, though, like I said, I didn't play a lot of Destiny 1, but basically the way it works is the people you play with, you sign in, you team up with them, and then your ships go together on one screen.
Oh, yeah. You would do that in the loading screen.
And then you dive toward Earth or Mars or wherever. And there's different kind of spawn points you can choose to start from.
That's nice.
So if you want to be on one side of the map and do like the
could you do that in
areas
Destiny
over
1?
there,
Or would you just
See, I
be in
don't
the
know.
default location?
I think there was only one spawn point.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's multiple
D1.
in every map now. And then if you want to as well, I don't know about Destiny 1 again, but in Destiny 2, you can choose to do just some strikes. And you just go straight to the strikes.
Yeah.
And they have this new one that I really enjoy called Gambit, where you basically take out a bunch of hordes that come at you, and you take their little spirits, they call them motes, and you pile them all into a vault, and then you're fighting against another team. So this other team's doing
it's
the
like a
same
tug-of-war
thing.
thing.
Yeah, this other team's doing the same thing in a like parallel
Can you see them?
spot. No, but there's one portal that will open up every 20 or 30 seconds. Then you can go into the other team's area and try to kill them.
Really?
And so you're trying to protect the motes that you got, and
Yeah.
then you get 100, and it summons a boss. And then whoever kills the boss first wins.
Interesting.
And so you can go through, and if you kill someone that's carrying motes, they lose all their motes. Now
is it still doing the Destiny thing where you cannot reach the highest light level or whatever the highest level is without playing with other people?
No, it's harder for sure, but it's still possible.
Because I was going to say the Vault of Glass. I mean, that was the first time I've ever played with, what was it, like 6 people?
A raid
simultaneously?
Yeah.
Yeah, a raid. But like we played the Vault of Glass for 9 hours straight.
Woof.
Online. But whatever.
Did you win?
Yes.
Okay,
That was
good.
the first time that we got it. But remember in the Vault of Glass, I can't remember what the gun was called, but it was the first elemental gun that shot like fire or something like that. It was the coolest looking gun. You only got it if you beat on hard.
Are you talking about your bad ex-boyfriend or whatever? Remember?
Yeah, the abusive ex-boyfriend. I miss him.
You're just revisiting him.
I mean, at this point, it's frayed into I only remember the good.
Right.
Hey, are we getting anything to eat after this, or should I order a pizza?
No, I'm taking my wife out after this.
I'm so hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry too.
Well, you guys can go have dinner then.
We should just get a pizza in front of him. You down?
I'm down.
Ty, you in?
No, I'm out. I'm leaving after this. I've got other stuff to do.
Yeah. And so that being said, with Destiny, it looks like they're going to base game with just expansions. It looks like they're probably not going to do like a Destiny 3, Destiny 4 kind of a thing.
I thought that was the first Destiny.
You're just going to carry your character through the expansions. That's the impression I got anyway. So
Oh, so it's gonna be like a World of Warcraft thing.
kind of, yeah, more like that, where they just keep adding expansions. And
So what are all the explorable worlds right now, or is there too many?
well, you got
You got Earth, Mars,
Mars,
Venus.
Nessus, Venus. No, yeah, I can't remember.
There's Titan.
Titan, and then there's also the Dreaming City.
Yeah, that's an expansion.
That's a new one. Yep. And then you've got the Tangled Shore,
See, that's the thing
which is an
I
expansion.
kind of want to play just for the story because I'm assuming they expand on the world a lot more and talk
they
about
do, yeah,
what
and it's pretty cool because
Guardians are.
Yeah, and this one you get a little bit more, or you don't get a whole bunch more insight into the Guardians. You get a little more insight into the Traveler, and
Is the Traveler
kind
the
of
person or is it the place?
the orb, that giant orb.
That's right above Earth.
Yeah,
That I never really understood what it is.
yeah.
That you're only allowed to
They
visit
still don't explain it all the way.
one part of a city.
Yeah.
Does the guy with the
But,
tentacle face show up?
No.
Zur?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Zur does show up every weekend.
It's been a while since I've seen
It
him.
reminds me, I got to go check out his wares tomorrow.
He needs to get a girlfriend.
All right, let's see. We got more video games, but this time in Teslas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to go, Elon. Seriously, there's a pod. So somebody picked up a podcast. I saw this on Engadget. I think it's Engadget, but so they ported Cuphead. You played that, James? Cuphead?
Yes, I bought it on the Xbox as soon as it came out.
You can now play that on Tesla's console in their car. So-
Great. So you take Cuphead and you mix it with Road Rage, and you get
I don't get-
ulcers.
Take some psychedelics.
You get nuclear explosions.
Actually,
This sounds like
while
a
you're
bad
in
idea.
while you're in cruise mode, or what is it, autopilot, right?
Yep.
You get your controller out and play some cup bop on your
Cuphead.
Cuphead.
Eat
Sorry.
some cup bop, play
cup
some
bop.
Cuphead.
See, I'm so hungry. See what it did right there?
Is that
Cup bop.
what you just felt? Like I just got a little tinge when you said that.
Yeah, Cuphead is the game. Cup bop is the delicious Korean barbecue. Anyway, you can play Cuphead. There it is
Nailed
on the console of the Tesla now. I guess a while ago, Elon kind of put out a broad tweet about like, "Hey, everybody, make this kind of be a thing."
Yeah.
And I guess there's some Atari games you can get. You can download. The problem with the Tesla game console / car driving display is that they didn't plan for any type of storage. This is kind of a hack of their own system. So you have to download one game, and when you're done with it, you delete it, and then you go download another game. You can only have one on.
So it
at a
has like an
time.
opening screen, but instead of opening, it's downloading.
Yeah, so limited space inside that system.
What do you control it with?
You get it plugs in the USB port.
Oh, it's just a controller.
Yeah, just a
Okay.
controller.
Any controller.
Any USB controller.
That's cool.
Which I guess, I mean, I can see that being a thing if we fully went like to automated like driving. If we
Yeah.
fully went driverless, okay.
Well, the thing is too is if you're going to do that, you have to make your car's computer upgradable.
Yeah,
Because
right.
people keep cars for 10, 12 years.
Space and everything. Like,
And if you're on the same CPU and GPU in that car for 10 or 12 years,
yeah.
that's not going to work.
See, but we're also talking about this in the same podcast that we're talking about streaming video games.
It's true. I'm not
So-
saying it couldn't be done. I'm just saying it should be done if they're going to do it.
Yeah, I just added to Owen's show notes too. I just watched this on YouTube today. So GameSpot had the, I think he's the art director of Cuphead on, and he talks about how he created the villains and a lot of like the animations and what went into it and stuff. It's a really good video if you're into.
LSD? Or did he say it was LSD?
He said there was a lot of trauma in his childhood.
Oh,
Okay. Not
He said
unlike
that. I might be
LSD.
quoting him. I don't know. We'll see.
Speaking of traumatic childhood stuff, the Genesis Mini finally got its full list of 40 games, and some of these games are really hard. But I'm gonna sound off here all 40 games.
Okay.
Hold on, in one breath. Ready? Go.
Sonic the Hedgehog, Echo the Dolphin, Castlevania The New Generation, Space Harrier 2, Shining Force, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Toe Jam and Earl, Comic Zone, Alter Beast, Gunstar Heroes, Castle of Illusions starring Mickey Mouse, World of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, Thunder Force 3, Super Fantasy Zone, Shinobi... I had to take a breath.
I got you.
Shinobi
Street Fighter
3.
3, Earthward Jim, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I can't do it.
What? Nobody could understand those. Shinobi 3, Streets of Rage 2, Earthworm Jim, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Probo. Which, side note, by the way, did you know that Sonic and Sonic 2 came out on the Master System?
Yes.
I did not know that until recently. That's crazy.
Super Mario Brothers 3, Contra
Nope,
5. Okay.
definitely not. That's that was a Nintendo. Yep. Probotector, aka Contra, Landstalker, Mega Man, The Wily Wars, Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition, Ghouls and Ghosts, Alex Kidd and the Enchanted Castle, Story of Thor,
Beach Bodies, Babe, Iron Man 5,
Golden Axe,
DuckTales.
classic, Fantasy
I love
Star
Golden
4, The End of the Millennium, Sonic the Hedgehog Spinball, Vector Man, Wonder Boy and Monster World, Tetris. But this is a
99.
very supposedly special version of Tetris
That
that's
came
super,
out on
Yeah,
Genesis.
Yeah.
I don't remember it ever coming out on Genesis.
It's
so-
super rare.
That one right there.
Darius, Road Rash 2.
Yeah.
That's a classic. I played a lot of Road Rash 2 at your house, Ty.
I never thought they would have Road Rash 2. on this.
Yeah. Strider, Virtua Fighter 2, Alicia Dragoon, Kid Chameleon, Monster World 4, Eternal Champions, Columns, Dynamite Heady,
Yeah.
and Light Crusader.
Gosh, I haven't played Virtual Fighter for a long time. That's a great game too.
This is
Virtua Fighter 2.
a really top-notch list of games
Yeah.
that they're bringing out. I'm excited for that system to come out.
Yeah, this has all the games that I always wanted to get for Genesis but never got. So
Yeah, well, that's the
Like-
thing is I was a Nintendo. I started at Nintendo 64, so I started late. But yeah, there's a ton of games on here that I was always like, man, I wish I had a Genesis to play these games.
Are you going to get it?
Oh yeah,
I'm on
Okay.
board. Oh yeah.
Yep, I'm getting it for sure. All right, and then got to talk about this to make Jarron jealous. The Uncharted movie has been officially confirmed with Tom Holland.
Tom Holland playing a young Nathan Drake.
Yep, it's coming out in holiday season
I think
2020.
Jarron could have played a young Nathan Drake.
Don't.
No.
Do you want a young Nathan Drake?
No.
Yeah, neither do I. I want an older guy that I can look up
Yeah.
to.
Did you guys watch the Nathan Fillion
I love
Uncharted
that.
video
I watch
they made?
it a couple times a week. Still.
It's great. They made a fan. He made a fan film
Yep.
with some production value. It's like a 15-minute or maybe less, like a 10-minute short
It's great.
with Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake, and it is great.
It really made me want Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake.
Yeah.
Like I almost got a little upset when I saw Tom Holland was cast because I'm like, we told you who we want. The internet collectively told you what we wanted.
I wouldn't mind if Nathan Drake or if whatever his name is, Fillion, lost a couple of the LBs though.
He has already. He's on a cop show now. Rookie, I think is what it's called. The Rookie.
Yeah.
And he's thinned out from his castle
Yeah.
days for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was looking a little bit like the Bing from the later seasons of Friends.
The Bing.
The Bing.
Also, two companies announced selfie cameras underneath the screen on their phones.
That is
Xiaomi,
not where I thought you were going with that.
I think it was Xiaomi and Oppo. Yep, showed
Explain
off.
why that would be any cool
this
at
is
all.
this is cool because the screen is actually underneath, or the selfie camera is underneath the screen, meaning you don't have a notch, you don't have a cutout, you don't have a flip up, you don't have anything like that. It will be able to take your pictures and your videos on the front of your camera through the screen glass, through the screen membrane, which means you will have an uninterrupted slab of pure, tasty screen on the front of your phone. If you could have seen the way I was rubbing my hand, you'd
it was
appreciate
very
that.
smooth and pure.
I could tell that it wasn't the first time.
Since it has to take the picture through the display, does that affect the
They're saying
image?
they're saying so far image quality is affected, but it is very early days. They're showing off prototypes right now. This isn't anything that's ready for market.
You like what you see?
And I would bet that they're going to be able to solve a good portion of that with the hardware, with screen tech. But honestly, I'd bet you that the rest of it's solved with software, just like Google does on their Pixel 3 and their 3 XL. They have such good software powering those cameras that you could take a picture of like almost darkness and it actually comes out looking okay.
Yeah, I have that phone.
Yeah, so does my wife. It's pretty amazing. And that's all with software.
And the Pixel 4 is going to have the headphone jack. Probably not.
No.
I'm hoping. I'm just putting that out to the universe
You're hoping
because
it
I'm getting
happens.
that phone.
Yeah.
I'm holding out. I'm not going to go for the 3A, even though it does have the headphone jack. I'm holding out for the Pixel
You
4.
wished that into the universe really well.
Yeah, I just did that.
You threw a wish at the moon,
Just let that energy go.
There
and
it
I heard a
is.
pa-tink.
And it bounced off.
That's the sound of a spittoon.
And nobody cares. All right. Was there anything else you wanted to hit before we end? I think actually there might only be one story we haven't touched on. No, there's two.
The Uber Copter. I want to talk about
Okay.
the Uber Copter. So that starts in July in New York.
This year?
Wow. They said July this year. They're starting rides just from Lower Manhattan to where did it say?
Kennedy Airport.
Yeah, Kennedy.
And I can't wait for the August lawsuit.
I mean, obviously we're out unless they can hook three of us up and carry us on three of the copters up and carry us on a platform.
Wait, is it not a cop? It's not a helicopter. It's a drone.
I believe it's a drone.
Oh yeah, this won't work for us. We're too
autonomous flying taxis. But according to the report in the New York Times, it will offer air transit starting July 9th.
Whoa! Did you see how much one ride's going to cost you?
$225.
$200.
But to do it, I don't know. Like, can you? First of all, I mean, you're getting in an airplane off the ground.
Yeah.
And then it's not even manned. I mean,
Let's work on delivering packages
Right?
first, and then
Oh.
people.
I can just see the lawsuits coming. But
No, it'll have space for up to 5 passengers.
Wow.
With 2 pilots. I think this is a helicopter.
is it a real? Oh no! It said a drone. I swear it said a drone. How can they offer helicopter?
Are
rides?
you trying to wish it
It's
into
just a
existence
helicopter.
No, you're right. It's just a helicopter. Well, less cool, but it's still a helicopter
It says
ride.
right there, integrating an 8-minute helicopter flight.
Oh.
Uber trip. On
I
both
thought it
ends.
was a drone.
So we're a bunch of helicopter pilots getting all jealous of everybody in Uber. Where do they pick you up?
Lower Manhattan.
Like on the street?
Gotta-
Do I have to do it in a corner?
Got to be a rooftop.
Yeah, it's gotta be a rooftop.
Got to be rooftop.
Oh.
Well, still a cool idea, I guess. I thought it was autonomous, but it is not.
It's still cool if you got the money.
Yeah, it says right here on the first line. I should have read that, but it says Uber's autonomous flying taxis aren't ready to take flight. I misread that because I saw that they were starting July 9th. That's what it said. Are ready.
I just see you reading this in your cube, and then you just take your thumb and you just cover that.
This is what I want to read.
I just selectively saw it. My brain selectively read that.
You're like, cause a
Well, it's
circle.
still cool. You can get a helicopter ride to the airport,
Yeah.
I guess, in New York.
Yeah, you could do that with a car too, though.
You could do that, or you could order.
Pay-per-view for 5 months.
No, I was going to say you could order the Google Stadia Founders Edition and
Yeah.
a few more months of games.
And walk.
And
or,
walk.
or get a ride and plan ahead.
I can order it.
But if you want a helicopter ride, you can do that now. They're removing the barrier to entry to take helicopter rides.
8-minute helicopter flight for $200. So that works out to be $25 a minute.
Yeah.
I don't know. There are some days when you're stuck in traffic and you're like,
You'd want it.
I would pay $200 to get out of this right now.
And then Uber's
Or-
like,
Hello.
we hear you through the Facebook app.
If you don't have to like plan ahead that far, like if it's available maybe last minute,
Yeah.
it'd be one of those things where you're like, crap, I got to get to the airport in 15 minutes.
Yeah, and you look at the map,
And
the
it's like
Google
a
Maps, and it's
30-minute
like
drive or a
gridlock.
45-minute drive because of bad traffic.
That's like a whole new
It might be worth it for that.
level for procrastinators. It's like, we'll just take front runner up to SL or to the airport. It's fine. Now we'll just drive. It's fine. And now it's like, hey, we'll just take a helicopter.
I really wanted that sandwich. Now we're going to take a helicopter.
As long as I get to make the helicopter sounds, chugga 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 chugga.
And I guess they must have cleared airspace to take a helicopter into an airport. I mean, that's like
Yeah.
that's pretty crazy because the
Drones are back in, baby.
FAA is like super restricted around around airports.
Indeed. Well, they're already, I mean, it says right here that they're already partnering with a known service, Heliflight Charter Service. So, I mean, these
That's
people
cool.
these people probably already have all that stuff figured out.
That's lame.
Heliflight service, it's hella good.
That's lame. I don't want to
Hey.
end the podcast on that. Somebody bring up a different
All right,
story.
fine. Last story that we
Okay.
have here is just a quick one. Samsung is teaming up with NVIDIA and AMD. This one just mentions the AMD part because they're licensing AMD GPU tech for their ARM CPUs,
We're making a graphics phone cell phone.
which is funny because you know the Adreno GPUs in the Qualcomm chips, the 855 and the 845, et cetera, those are based off of old AMD patents that Qualcomm bought for GPUs. So they're-
Adreno sounds like a gland in my body. What are you talking about?
It does,
The-
but it's
Raspberry
not.
Pi.
So I just think it's funny that now Samsung is licensing different AMD GPU tech to put in their ARM chips. And then also not on the notes, I probably won't add it because I'm lazy. Maybe I will. I don't know. But it has been announced that NVIDIA is teaming up with Samsung to use their chip foundries to make the next version of the NVIDIA graphics card. Ampere is the code name for it. And they'll be using Samsung's extended ultraviolet chip making process for 7 nanometer.
Well, now that they don't have to worry about the ultraviolet movie service, I mean, it just
Yeah, they can
opens
just so many
a
options.
lot of doors.
Oh, jeez.
So, like, NVIDIA is like a big company, huh?
They are, yeah, they're big. So there you go. Kind of neat. You'll be seeing some AMD GPU technology
In your Tesla.
in your phones someday, and you'll be seeing some Samsung GPU manufacturing in your NVIDIA graphics
And
cards.
AMD's
someday.
everywhere with their graphics cards now.
They really are. Like, it seems like they realize they can't win on the PC front,
Yeah.
on the high end, and so they said, "Well,
Well, besides the Mac Pro, that's AMD.
well, yeah. I mean, not gaming.
It's gaming, yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing I should have mentioned in our Mac Pro talk earlier in the episode. None of that's going to be good for gaming.
Yeah.
It will not work well for gaming. It's for production stuff.
But all the next gen consoles use AMD.
Yep, all the next gen, all the current gen consoles
all the
use
current
AMD.
gens do, and all the Stadia stuff is AMD.
Yep, as well. So yeah, they're branching out quite a bit into more like specialty GPU stuff. So
Also,
Pretty cool.
if you were on the fence and that Tesla gaming console, the Tesla game was going to be what swayed you to purchase the Tesla. just remember you can only get one level right now.
Oh, it's only the first
It's only
level?
the first level. So
That's all you'll need.
bring
Have you
it-
ever played Cuphead?
I have not.
That's all you need.
Is that it?
It's worse.
Oh,
Did you pass the first level?
Nope.
No, really?
I bought it to support them because I'm like, this is all like original artwork. This is all original music. It's a cool concept. I didn't know it was only going to be boss fights. So flipped the table and I immediately uninstalled it.
I suggest trying it again.
How far did you get, Ty?
I got to the third world.
Ah.
Do I still aim with my hand and go pew, 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 and like die really fast?
Yeah.
I'm out. I need,
Start it. You try again.
I need,
You get better each time, and then you win.
I just
And
need
it
a-
feels so
Sounds-
good.
sounds
Feels
I need
so
a
good to win.
massive safety net in my life.
but that just seems like anxiety.
I think, James, you got into Dead Cells, didn't you?
Yeah.
You probably get into Cuphead now again since you got
Freaking
into
love
Dead
Dead
Cells.
Cells.
It's very similar. 2D action.
Which one is Dead Cells?
that? I thought you loved it. Is the one where you play the like zombie guy in the prison sewers and you run around and kill things?
Oh, Dead Cells. Yeah, I love that game.
Every time you die, you go back
Hey,
to the very
fill it
beginning.
up those little dangly balls.
Yeah,
up
you
on
fill
the
up
ceiling.
the dangly balls.
Did you ever beat that game?
No, I got to like the third level, and that's the farthest I've ever got.
How many dangly balls did you unlock?
I don't know, 12.
Neat. Oh, I should go buy that game tonight.
Dead Cells is fun. It got too hard for me, but I put a good like
see
5-6
how much it
hours
is.
into it.
Oh, they need to. Okay, Nintendo needs to revamp their software on the system. First off, give me a grid on the front page. Stop giving me like a single
Yeah,
line
I
of
hate
like.
that.
Yeah,
That's a line.
That's
yeah.
PlayStation style.
Yep.
I
hate
need
it.
to see how much money I spent on my front page. 2, the store, revamp that, man. Like, give me like options, like throw it in my face. 3, I don't know your number. You don't know my
Oh,
number.
the friend number
I
thing.
can remember
It's
names.
terrible.
4, don't make it so I have to whip out my phone to give you a call
Yep.
when I want to talk to you.
All of these things are valid complaints, I'd say. But yet I still love my Switch.
Yeah, me too. It's good. I was gonna say it's the
All
most
right.
recent console I bought, but does the other one count as a console?
What?
Counts as a controller. The
Yeah.
Stratvia
I don't know.
Stadium.
It's a
Stevia.
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 We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Hold on. What is Steve?
Stevia is artificial sweetener.
Yep.
All right.
Kind of like the
I
Stadia.
think we're done.
Oh, Stadia.
Stadia, not Stevia.
Stadia.
Okay. Anything else? No? All right.
A
Thanks-
Stadia is a sports
thanks
arena
for-
with tiers of more
It's
spectrum.
a stadium. Gosh, dang it.
I checked.
Stadia is plural for stadium, actually.
Is it really?
Yeah.
What?
Definition of stadia: a surveying method for determining of distances and differences of elevation by means of telescopic instrument having 2 horizontal lines through which the
That's
mark
his-
on a graduated rod are observed.
That is what that says, Merriam-Webster Dictionary.
Oh.
I'm already so bored.
I don't know. Yeah.
Hey,
You guys gonna go get food?
yeah.
Okay.
Are
Hey,
we?
Thanks for listening all the way to the end. We're gonna end on a fizzle. Owen, take us out.
Hey, we hope you care.
Gadget Spot.